I'm Darren Shuchuk, and I'm the Vice President of Public Affairs and Communications at Harman. We are very proud to be a partner to the Extreme Tech Challenge and to have the opportunity to mentor and support these outstanding startups that are changing the world through technological innovation. It is my distinct pleasure to announce that the winner of the XTC 2021 People's Choice Award is PathGen Diagnostik Teknologi. PathGen is disrupting the molecular diagnostic market for cancer through inclusive, robust, and affordable platforms. In doing so, this company is seeking to democratize precision medicine, particularly in developing countries, and enabling molecular diagnostics for all. Congratulations to the PathGen team for their many achievements. Now, please enjoy their pitch.
Hi, I'm Santi, CEO and founder of PathGen. We are providing low-cost PCR and digital pathology-based molecular diagnostic for cancer. I'm a cancer researcher, globally trained in Indonesia, Australia, and the UK, and I'm also a cancer survivor. Thus, I understand firsthand that there is an urgent need for cancer genetic tests in developing countries, despite the emerging or even overcrowded market in more developed countries, especially in the West. PathGen is filling this gap by offering inclusive products for guiding therapy, detecting familiar risks, and predicting prognosis. Our products include the PCR-based test Colomel and PulmoAmDX for colorectal and lung cancer, and later FUMI, the disruptive artificial intelligence-assisted digital pathology platform. Our solution would impact more than 72,000 patients per year in Indonesia alone, which is about 1/5 of the cases in the USA. We aim for 70% of Indonesian market by inclusion into Indonesia universal health coverage and 20% of remaining developing countries market. Developing countries have huge market size, and affordability is the key for penetration. We are offering at least 5 times cheaper product with 100% concordance with current reference method. As only 1-year-old company, we have managed to secure agreement with Indonesian government for early implementation of Colomel DX at Indonesian National Cancer Center later this year, followed by commercialization as in vitro diagnostic test in early 2020 in collaboration with Bio Farma, Indonesia's state-owned biotech company, one of the largest in Southeast Asia. The team is supported by young and driven talents, as well as world-leading advisors. We are looking for $1 million seed funding for developing the automatic system for global market differentiation and wider reach. Please join us, because if you talk about tech for good, then you'll be talking about PathGen. Thank you.
Great, welcome Susanti, and congratulations for winning the inaugural People's Choice Award.
Thank you very much, Victoria. Thank you for having me.
Okay, awesome. I want to turn to Michael for the first question.
Well, first I just want to say the same, Susanti, congratulations. The People's Choice Award is probably the most special award, and so it's so deserved in your hand, and you have such a compelling life story, and your dedication is just remarkable. It's an example for all of us. So bravo and congratulations. And my question is, your test, I understand right now the test is for colon and lung cancers. Can you explain, I'm a layman, can you explain whether that test can be used for other types of cancers, or why you picked these two? Is this a start, and will there be different kinds of tests? Be very helpful to understand better.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael, for your appreciation and obviously the questions. Right now, indeed, we're focusing more on lung and colon cancer first, and then lung, because these are the top 3 most common cancer in many parts of the world, even in the West, but also in Indonesia and other developing countries. So we see that this is will be the good entry point for our product. And with regard to technology, so we are using the existing platform, which is PCR, And now, because not thanks, but I mean due to COVID, everyone knows what PCR is, and most importantly, in the developing country, the PCR machine and our system widely available right now. So we develop our test based on the PCR instead of going to next generation sequencing that currently maybe become the trend in the West. So we're using the existing platform, but with our world-leading expertise, we managed to come up with the PCR protocol with certain proprietary that make our PCR test comparable with the reference method, current reference method, including sequencing. So how we do it is we testing this instead of testing lots of gene like what NGS do, we're focusing on the targeted of small panel of gene, but with the value with the translated values for clinical intervention. So we don't need some at this in clinical implementation, you don't need all the genetic information that perhaps NGS produce, but we focus more on what genetic information required to improve the management, such as to guide for the therapy and to predict if there is an inherited disease going on within the patient family. So I hope that's answer your question.
Wonderful.
And whether we're going to develop more tests for other cancer, yes, absolutely. Using our expertise in the genetic and all the field in this and other related area, we're going to surely develop a genetic test for different cancers. After lung, we're looking at the nasopharyngeal cancer, which is quite endemic in Asia. But and again, this is very unique niche that not many genetic tests or competitors are looking at for now.
Thank you so much, Susanti.
It's very interesting indeed. Over to you, Bill.
Yeah, you mentioned at the end that you were going to try to do, or you're moving to automation, not trying, but you will automate. PCR testing, I'm not an expert in this area, but it seems to me to be kind of a labor-intensive thing where there's a lot of manual lab procedures. What can you do to make this highly replicable and scalable by automating across the the multitude of tests that you're going to do across different kinds of cancers?
Yeah. So indeed, you are right. For now, the PCR reaction can be considered laborious, but so it involves stages of pipetting. So that's what considered laborious. But in terms of scalable and consistency, the PCR test, even like for COVID, is quite consistent. But it's just indeed you need there's a labor in terms of lab work. We're looking for funding for set up more automatic way, which is we kind of want to build our own PCR machine. If you want to describe, I think we can simplify it that way. So we want to have our own PCR machine that instead of open like the other PCR machine, but it's tailored to the protocol that we develop. So what we will have is we will minimize the pipetting process, and then what we will have is a system that only required initial pipetting in the beginning, for example, and then we got the result at the end. So it's end-to-end product. But obviously, we want to keep the cost still competitive enough for global market, but also can be used in developing country if they choose to go to the more automatic way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very interesting point. Headed over to Lars for the last question.
Yeah, Susanti, very, very exciting approach, technology, and of course also goal. How do you defend yourself against the big pharmaceutical gorillas that might come in and try to steal your thunder? What is your secret sauce to do that?
Yeah, I know. This is, like I said, in the West, especially, it's very overcrowded market. But as a cancer patient myself from developing country, I really, really understand that even though there's so many gorillas, somehow it not translate well in developing countries. So that's why I at the time could not get my test done. I think that's the most unique niche that we have, because we supported by world leading experts, but I also have the perspective of being a patient in the local setting, and we know our market well, if you want to say that way. And that's why within a year we got an agreement with the Indonesian government, because there is indeed really a huge unmet needs for this. And yes, maybe later on, the gorillas will look at our market and say, okay, we can drop the price as well, and then it will be a huge challenge for us. But hopefully by that time we can, through our innovation as well, we can be a strong competitor.
Okay, thank you. Very clear.
Great, thank you. It's been our pleasure, Susanti from PathGen Diagnostik Technologies, and I want to thank all the presenters today.